most of all, they are professionals, and they deserve professional pay. Today, we pay teachers far less than other professionals with similar education. According to one recent study, the average starting salary for a teacher is about $30,000, about $15,000 less than other jobs that require similar education, like computer programmers, accountants, and registered nurses. Even though we pay teachers less, we expect them to do everything with next to nothing, to help all our children succeed, even when they come to school hungry, or without warm enough clothing, or without glasses to see the blackboard, when they lack adequate textbooks, or when they don't get the help they need at home with homework. We give them too little control over their classrooms. And when some children don't succeed, we say that teachers should have done more with less. How many of us know teachers who go out every year and buy supplies and books for their classrooms? Teachers are heroes for dedicating their lives to our children, but heroes have to pay the bills too. Instead of helping teachers overcome problems, some people talk like teachers are the problem. It's time to end these Republican attacks against teachers and teachers' unions. From the State House to the White House, it's wrong for any politician to try and score political points by pointing fingers, especially at people who have devoted their lives to teaching our children. What we need to start with doing is treating our teachers with the value and the respect that they deserve and backing up our words with meaningful actions. Here in Iowa, Governor Culver and the state legislature have made a major investment to raise teacher pay and to recruit the best educators. Washington should follow Iowa's example and help Iowa and other states go even further. To me, it's as simple as ABC. If we want successful students, we need good teachers. And if we want good teachers, we need to pay them a good salary. Teacher quality is lowest in the poorest schools, where good teachers are in fact needed the most. Recruiting teachers is a particular challenge in rural schools, including many here in Iowa and in my state, North Carolina. As president, I want to find a way to reward teachers who are making a difference in high-poverty schools. I'll work with states to give all teachers in successful high-poverty schools up to a $5,000 raise. Teachers in high-poverty schools can earn $5,000 more by proving their effectiveness, such as winning national board certification or by serving as mentors. The support professionals who work in schools need to be treated with the respect that they deserve too. We can start by paying them a decent wage. As president, I'm glad to see that the Congress finally raised the minimum wage. It's going to go to $7.25 an hour. It's great. It's not enough. The minimum wage ought to be at least $9.50. I'll also support teachers in their early years, because the first months in the classroom are the hardest, as all the educators here can tell you. A third of all new teachers leave teaching within 3 years, and nearly half leave within 5 years. We should make it easier for rookie teachers with smaller classes, reducing teaching loads, and mentoring by successful teachers. As president, I'll create a national teacher university, a West Point for teachers, to recruit 1,000 top college students a year, train them to be excellent teachers, and encourage them to teach where they're needed the most. Teacher University can make a real difference, preparing desperately needed math and science teachers, and working to improve other education schools too. And we'll invest in training academies, I'll say it right, for principals at exactly the same time. If we want to build one education system where every child has a chance to build a better life, we've got to ensure that every teacher works in an outstanding school, no matter what neighborhood that school is located in. And that's the third pillar of my education plan. We can no longer tolerate the benign neglect to our schools. We should set high expectations for every child, close the achievement gap, and identify and improve schools that aren't meeting these goals. I have seen how North Carolina under Governor Jim Hunt achieved success that was based on these principles. That's what No Child Left Behind was supposed to be. But in too many schools across America, NCLB has lost its way. It imposes cheap, standardized tests and judges schools on arbitrary formula. It's narrowed the curriculum, emphasized low-level thinking skills, and neglected gifted students. And it's failed to reliably identify schools that most need reform. We need richer tests that measure real thinking skills, other measures of academic performance, and more reasonable standards for our schools. For example, we should look at how much our students are learning so that we measure students' growth rather than the number of clear and arbitrary bars. And we also need to involve the teacher in evaluating how the student is doing. When it thinks a school is failing, No Child Left Behind mandates cookie-cutter reforms despite any evidence that they work. It's adopted a spirit of punishing struggling schools rather than helping them improve. We need to provide more resources and flexibility to turn these schools around. As president, I'll launch a school success fund, which is a Marshall-like plan, Marshall-plan-like effort to rebuild and restore America's schools. Based on North Carolina's successful reforms, I would ask teams of experienced educators, what I call education SWAT teams, to spend a year in struggling schools, helping them launch reforms where they're needed the most. We need to recognize that no matter what No Child Left Behind says, there are no silver bullets or one-size-fits-all solutions. At the same time that we are helping struggling schools turn around, we should also be building new, successful schools. As president, I'll launch a Great Schools initiative and will focus on building 1,000 great new schools. All across America, there are schools succeeding and helping children from all backgrounds excel. They include traditional public schools, some public charter schools, small schools, many others. I will say to successful schools, if you have a proven record of success, we're going to help you expand or start new versions as fast as you possibly can. We'll provide new federal resources for new buildings, teachers, and other needs. Our goal will be to create 250 more great schools a year with a special emphasis on smaller schools, early college high schools, and economically integrated schools. Teachers and parents know that children will learn more in smaller classes. It's particularly important in the earlier grades that are so critical to a child's success, and for students who may be struggling. That's why, as president, I'll provide significant new resources to reduce class sizes by hiring more teachers in the places where they're needed the most. And while we're rewriting federal laws to live up to their promise, we also need to live up to our promises to children with disabilities. I'll get us on a path to fully fund special education, making the federal government finally, meet its obligations under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Students for the world of work, we need to strengthen career education. Even with the opportunity to attend college, some students will go straight into the workforce. And good career training can mean the difference between $8 an hour and $28 an hour. I will support partnerships between high schools and community colleges to help high school students get the training they need for good jobs, especially in fields where skilled workers are already in short supply. And to help children become active members of their community, we need science programs. Citizenship and the value of serving others are lessons better taught through experience than textbooks. We should help high schools make community service a graduation requirement and create high-quality opportunities to serve. The high school that my two oldest children went to, the public high school in North Carolina, had a service requirement. And it didn't hurt them a bit, it actually helped them. Finally, and I might add, Elizabeth and I, many of you know, that started an after-school program that was close to this high school. And we had kids from the high school coming over, acting as mentors and tutors for their peers. And it was not only good for those that they were helping to mentor and tutor, it was also good for those who were doing the tutoring. I mean, young people who recognize what the importance is of service to their community and service to their country end up being very productive citizens in the United States of America. So to the extent that we can expand service, that's a good thing. It's a good thing for Iowa, and it's a good thing for America. Finally, we can't forget children in rural areas, like here in Iowa. This is personal for me because, as I mentioned earlier, I went to rural schools throughout my childhood. I remember the great teachers I had, but I also remember feeling like our school didn't get the attention and the resources that schools in other areas did. Rural schools enroll 40% of American children, but receive only 22% of federal education funding. They face the highest dropout rates, the lowest college enrollment rate, have the lowest